pandemic has done a great loss to each and everyone, for me also and for students also.
We were the first batch of teachers who taught students online completely. I think we're dealing with challenges that no other teachers had probably experienced in the past, and I think this gives us a very unique opportunity to learn, grow, and ensure that learning is happening in the best possible way for us and our students.
It was a lot of struggle because kids didn't have network connection in their area. Many of the kids have already shifted to another place due to the loss of jobs to their parents. And also many of the kids have gone back to village actually. So they have actually stopped learning and they have gone to their place.
मेरा हमारे फैमिली में 1 से 2 फ़ोन है, तो मेरे बड़े भाई को हमेशा ज़्यादातर प्रॉब्लम हो रही है और क्लास का टाइमिंग सेम होता था 8 o'clock, तो फिर बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम हो रही थी. आई गेट फोन आफ्टर 6 months.
Actually, I had laptop, I had phone, and I had every facility. But there were some network glitches and some problems, which make it challenging and hard to me to be in the online class.
First of all, what happened, frankly speaking, we were not so techno-savvy. During the lockdown, it teaches us even many things we have also learned as an educator. We have also learned.
स्कूल को मिस किया, फ्रेंड्स, टीचर्स एंड टीचर्स का पढ़ाना कि वो क्लासरूम में ब्लैक बोर्ड पे पढ़ाती हैं.
लेक्चर्स और विजिटिंग वॉशरूम के बहाने पूरे स्कूल में घूमना.
The places, the homes that our kids come from are really constricted, confined. Oftentimes we can hear noises, we can hear loud people talking loudly that almost all the time interrupt their learning. And there's only so much possible to be done in an online space. I mean, yes, we were teaching effectively, but I think the concepts of building community or understanding each other's perspectives, working with each other, those were missing.
When schools are open, so it's kind of a bliss for us.
Something which I missed about the schools were many things, like I miss my teachers, my mates, and discussions in the class.
First of all, there is a lot of excitement and renewed energy since the school has opened. I started my fellowship as a online only medium, and it was quite difficult to engage the kids and do the learning efficiently. But since kids are coming to the school, they feel more connected to me also, and now I think their learning has increased multifold and they are able to grasp the details.
मुझे सबसे अच्छी खुशी की बात है कि स्कूल खुल गए हैं, तो इनके लिए बेस्ट ऑप्शन वही है. घर बैठ के जो हम पढ़ाई करा सकते हैं वो नहीं है, लेकिन जिसे बच्चा टीचर से फेस टू फेस मिले तो वो बेहतर है.
आई एम वेरी एक्साइटेड क्योंकि हम 2 years बाद आ रहे हैं, तो हमें अपने स्कूल में आके बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है.
While teaching online and offline, the transition has been really a struggle. So apart from a teacher, we really have to be a mentor. We have to be a friend to the kids so that they also feel safe and comfortable.
I think, if I see my time, I never thought that mental health can be the prime issue. But after pandemic, we have to focus on mental health.
When your parents are struggling, when there's a lot of financial difficulty around you, the natural instinct is how can we get more money or income into the family, and education being the last priority for many of the homes that the students come from. It is natural to pull them out of school and engage them in some form of labor. So I think to make education exciting, to make it something that's going to change their future, pull them out of poverty not just for say a month or two, but in the long run was essential.
Due to the COVID, kids have been missing 2 years whole education. So when we joined for the fellowship, we had to start from the zero actually. Kids even forgot the basic addition, basic subtraction, basic operation. They were not able to do. They were not able to read. They were not able to write. So we had to start from the zero from. Okay. COVID has actually impacted very much in the lower community actually. So for the higher community, they get good chances to come back, but for the lower community, it was a lot of pain they are suffering. They're still suffering because of the COVID.
I feel since the pandemic, we have lost more children to child abuse and just child labor. We do not even have track of these kids who have gone back to their villages. So as the waves of COVID kind of hit us, with every wave I think we got stronger and more informed. Now that they were coming back to school, we were also receiving from our own studies and studies across the world about learning poverty and how much time and effort would be required in order to bridge that gap.
पहले हम आते थे विदाउट मास्क के, अब मास्क ला के आना पड़ता है, सैनिटाइजर लेके आते हैं, हैंड वॉश करते हैं उसके बाद.
I think it's safe because of हमारी क्लास में लड़कियों में ज़्यादातर ने वैक्सीन ले चुका है और ज़्यादातर क्लास हम सब लोग मास्क लगा के बैठते हैं क्लास में एंड हम सैनिटाइजर यूज़ करते हैं. आई थिंक इट्स सेफ फॉर अस.
तो हम क्लास में पहले सफाई करते हैं, झाड़ू लगाते हैं, फिर उनको पोंछते हैं डिटॉल से या सैनिटाइजर से पोंछकर टेबल में पोंछते हैं, फिर हमारे बच्चों को देते हैं सैनिटाइजर दे देते हैं, उनको क्लास में देते हैं. फिर दिन में जैसे खाना लंच का टाइम होता है बच्चों का, फिर हम लोग आते हैं सफाई करवाते हैं तो वो डालते हैं डिटॉल वगैरह डाल के फिर जाते हैं. मतलब ये कोरोना की वजह से थोड़ा ज़्यादा भी बच्चों पे ध्यान देना पड़ा.
Having masks on compulsory, carrying masks with you so that in case the students don't have access to it or tend to have their excuses of I left it at home, how can you provide it to them? How can you leverage organizations or even Teach for India to ensure that the student is physically safe with masks, sanitizers, entry checks on a regular basis to let students know that you are serious about their safety, convincing their parents that you are aware of the safety requirements.
First of all, I will say that I take care of my own safety much more importantly because my safety will eventually matter to the kids also. So I try to wear mask all the time whenever I am outside. I keep sanitizing my hands, and there are provisions from the school also that entrance, exit, everywhere there are sanitizers.
Actually, I love karate. So I think स्कूल में कराटे टीचर और कराटे क्लास तो होना ही चाहिए.
There should be physical exercise and sport in every school, so we can feel a little free, stress free.
जैसे हमारे स्कूल में जो सैनिटाइज़र आता है वो अच्छा प्योर सैनिटाइज़र नहीं होता. हमारे स्कूल में जैसे मास्क भी प्रोवाइड कराना चाहिए कुछ बच्चों को, जैसे किसी बच्चे का फट जाता है मास्क या खो जाता है तो.
So something which I expecting from everyone, from my teachers, from my mates, and from everyone who are behind me is that they support me, they motivate me in every difficult stuff of my life.
इंडियन एजुकेशन सिस्टम में मैं ये चाहता हूँ कि TFI जो है वो हर स्कूल में हो. तो जो भी है हमारे एरिया में, जो हम इतनी दूर आते हैं स्कूल इसलिए आते क्योंकि हमें टीच फॉर इंडिया का स्कूल मिला जिसमें टीच फॉर इंडिया है. तो इस वजह से हम इधर आते हैं। उधर हमारी साइड में भी काफ़ी स्कूल्स हैं, लेकिन उसमें पढ़ाई वाली बात नहीं है। कोई स्कूल का कोई टाइमिंग नहीं है, कोई फिक्स नहीं है कुछ, इस वजह से हम यहाँ पर आते हैं।
Students didn't feel like they were seen or heard for the longest time, and as an educator I would want students to be the center of the education system right now and actually design practices and lessons in a way that they can contribute to.
2 years ago, the challenge was how can I ensure that the student is excelling in the best possible way academically or grade wise. But now the challenge is to really bring the student to the classroom. I think over the 2 years, we've lost track of all our students and bringing each of them back on track and making the classroom an exciting space.
Happiness and safety is a multi-dimensional concept. While I think that students learn from those they like, but they also learn in places where they feel happy and safe. I don't see the pandemic as something of the past. I think that is something that we need to constantly reflect on. We need to evaluate what has been our biggest learnings from the entire experience that we've had for the past almost 1.5-2 years, and see how we can sort of identify the breakdowns there, take those learnings and then implement it for our classrooms to be strengthened in the future.
I think the most important role for me that I identify in rebuilding the system will be to ignite the fire of learning inside the kids, that they become self-aware learners.
So because I teach mathematics and I've seen that in the last 2 years there is a huge learning loss. So students do not know the basics of mathematics. So in the very beginning of the class I ensure that they solve at least 5 questions of addition, subtraction and multiplication, so that they are good with basics. So if they are not good with basics, they will not be able to understand what I am going to teach them. So yeah, these are few structures which I try to inculcate in my classroom.
So my hope for the Indian education system is that we will be able to do justice to the national education policy and curriculum, which talks about holistic education, which talks about meeting every child at their own level, which talks about bringing equity, equality and representation in the classroom, basically making the classroom a microcosm of a larger, the world's largest democracy.